Yo, 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 it's another fucking podcast with your boys Bill, James, and Tig'S. Excellent adventure. This week, on episode 52, we're going to talk about...
R.I.P. Jason Witten in the booth.
It's over for you, sir. And we're also going to talk about Kyrie and the Celtics. What's wrong?
Not meshing.
Something's up. We're going to talk about some other shit. But it's all happening right here in the number one podcast in all of fucking history. You funky bitch, you. That's right! That is motherfucking right. Because it's another fucking podcast. That's
Even when I see the sun, I still hear the thunder.
3 more hosts.
When them K's start raining and the bullets wounding babies.
Yeah, that was my Bohemian Rhapsody version.
Whisper from the killers under moonlights. Fake young thugs, really softer than some
big
moon
week
pies.
in
On
the
inside,
sports news today.
You ain't with the squad,
Oh
then
my God,
fuck
that didn't make any sense what I just said. Big week in the sports news today.
That's the only
Big week
reason I'm still
in
flowing in the
sports.
first place. Check me.
This week,
Life is like a chess
we had-
game. From your release
Oh my
date
God,
till
so
your
much
deceased
news.
date.
Antonio Brown.
Truth puncture more egos
Did an
than even
interview.
arteries. A campaign at my city
Fucking
caused a landslide.
Kraft got
I
arrested.
never let any success get to me. Because the fame don't
But
mean shit
what's
to
even
me.
crazier, I think he's one of several billionaires who have gotten arrested that day. But what's even, it might be even crazier, bigger news, Jason Witten has come out of retirement after his famed and illustrious career as a amazing sportscaster for
Infamous.
Monday Night Football. Infamous might be more accurate than anything else I just said. Jason Witten is returning to the Cowboys as a tight end for your boy Dak Prescott. It's gonna be a match made in football heaven again.
This dude would rather risk more concussions than get back behind that camera.
He's scared to death. Now, see, I, myself, have a question for you that no one, like usual, on television has said and asked. James,
What's up?
at old Jamesy boy, I've just got to ask you, man. Do you think Booger McFarlane is going to get allowed to come into the booth finally and come out of the cold and come out of the rain?
Honestly, as bad as Witten was, and we made fun of him, I made fun of him a lot on this here podcast.
Right here.
I think they got rid of the wrong guy. I thought Booger was worse.
Oh, no. Booger was not worse.
Booger-
They didn't get rid of anybody.
This dude, first of all, his name is Booger. Pause.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
And this guy's like riding a tram around the game, the whole game.
That's because they are stupid. That's ESPN being stupid. Put the guy. We've seen plenty of broadcasts with 3 people in the booth. It's not like there's not enough room in the booth for 3 people. We've seen it.
I hear you.
Put the motherfucker in the booth.
Well,
That's their fault.
Well, yeah.
Like, he can't operate a tablet unless he's sitting on the field, sitting like on a fucking tennis judge throne, fucking looking down on everything. Oh, I can really see from this angle, guys. I can really see that, why am I up here?
And just like random people behind him cheering.
He's wondering why he's up there. That's why he sometimes stumbles. He's like, I'm fucking out here in the cold. It's fucking raining.
I agree. Maybe I didn't like him because he was put in an awkward position and he had to like talk to the camera to his left and then look at the game and then look at his screen. So I hope they do bring him up there. Jason Witten is out. Upgrade Booger. What do you think?
Booger actually has real game calling experience where he educates the viewer on what's happening on the field without being redundant and basically just boring.
Mm-hmm.
I think Booger should definitely get boosted up there. Get that promotion. and get to sit up out the cold. At least I don't care if they put somebody else in the booth because, like I said, there's plenty of room for 3 people. Replace Jason Witten with somebody cool. You know.
How about Stefan from Into Never?
Hey,
Phil from Into Never.
I know he's free. I know he's free. You know, they can hit him up.
Can you imagine you as an announcer?
Me? Oh yeah,
you would be totally screaming, like trying to let the coaches hear you, like do this.
No, I wouldn't be rooting for anybody. I could be a complete.
No, but for the sanctity of the game.
Oh no, I would be like Tony Romo-esque.
All right.
You know, but not calling out people's plays because he's just ruining people's. Because come on, man, this is not the only team we got to play this week. He's giving away all our tips, he's giving away all the stuff that we do on television. Well, you know, I was talking to them this week, and they said they like to run this jet sweep with an 18 go and all this shit, like giving all these motherfuckers. What? Hey man, calm down. What the fuck is wrong with you? Hey man, those are our plays. You're telling people.
Well, it is better than the Jason Witten of, oh, this is a big play.
You know, this really is a big play.
Oh, they need a stop here.
They really do need a stop here.
4th and 1, you got to get this.
4th and 1. You really do have to get it, but it's like, I know that, though. Did he have to say that? Could he say something like, expect, you know, this or expect that? No, he couldn't do any of that stuff. Because Jason Witten's not really that good at calling games. Some people aren't. So Jerry Rice wasn't good at calling games.
Yeah, I mean, athlete, it doesn't automatically translate. Like, in no way do I want Kobe calling games.
No.
He's not that kind of personality.
No.
I
like the little thing Kobe has, though, with the little, what's it called?
Spotlight thing.
Spotlight.
Yeah.
I like that. I thought it was Spot Shadow, but whatever.
So it's something like that.
No, I mean, I thought it was called Spot, because that's what they do. They got to Spot Shadow you, but maybe Spot Shadow was taken.
Copyrighted.
Already trending somewhere else. So
is Jason Witten going to be a good tight end?
He can run block still.
Yeah, it's true.
He can't run for shit, but neither can Gronk. So
I actually have a theory. You have something written down at the bottom here. Can we address it?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's Black History. Happy last day of Black History Month, everybody.
Last day of Black History Month. Happy last day of Black History Month. For us, it is, because you might hear this on March the 1st. But
true. You know what? We're still allowed to celebrate it in March.
Goddamn right.
Why did Jason Witten get this job?
His best friend is white.
Like,
and has the job.
He got
half white.
He got one of the top.
His real best friend, in the guy who just gave him his job back, in Jerry Jones, basically got him the job. He told him, "Hey, why don't you just go be a broadcaster?"
Yeah.
You know, he basically got him that job so he could take him off of his books for a year.
But like, this is one of the best gigs in football, in sports. And
there's
why?
Literally people who have been trying to get to that position their entire careers.
Yeah, and of all people, like Jason Witten, you know, probably a Hall of Fame career. I don't think he was ever the best tight end in football.
Never.
But you know, let's be honest. He looks like a politician. He looked good in a suit, and he had that fucking bow tie, and he, you know, hair combed to the right. There were other athletes who were retired.
Oh yeah.
But like, why him?
Rodney Harrison. Fucking. Man, I would have preferred to hear Chris Carter.
Yeah.
Calling the games than hear Mark Schlereth. You know, all these people got fired from ESPN though.
How about the guy who retired at halftime? Like, there was like. Does the tight end really know a lot about the game?
Tight ends do. Shannon Sharp, he knows a lot about the game. He's very
But he's not calling the game. He talks about the game.
Yeah, but he has called games before. I think he'd be somebody who would be good. You know what I'm saying? For instance, just to like.
No, I agree.
But they never. Yeah, they didn't go after those people. They didn't go after those people. They didn't. You know, and Jason Witten has literally no experience on television. We've seen him do interviews, and that's basically it.
And this was one of the worst. It was the laughing stock of the NFL. It kept the season interesting until playoff came.
I'm just glad they found something else for him to do.
Yes.
I'm glad his white privilege found him right back on another team, so where we don't have to fucking hear him talk unless we watch Dallas Cowboy topics on television and watch
which we will.
Which apparently all of you do, which is the only reason we talked about Jason Witten today. On to Antonio Brown. Going up north to Pittsburgh, where it's cold and they're being cold-blooded.
That's why he wants out.
The motherfucking GM for Pittsburgh Steelers said, Ben Roethlisberger is their unquestioned leader, which I have questions about. And he also said that Ben Roethlisberger should be listened to by the teammates because they're just a bunch of 52 kids, he said, that need to learn from the master. I said master because Antonio Brown said that Ben Roethlisberger got an owner's mentality. Mm-hmm. And I don't think he meant owner like slave owner, but still.
A little bit.
It's kind of feeling that way.
Mm-hmm.
Antonio Brown did an
Owning
interview.
People? That's all I'm saying.
What do you mean, you people?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Antonio Brown had an interview, though. Did you see the interview?
No, who do you talk to?
I don't remember. Somebody.
Rachel Nichols?
No.
Oh.
That would have been hot. No.
What'd he say, though?
He said, it was after the GM's comments. He basically was saying, look, he basically proved my point. These people don't have respect for anybody, and they let Ben Roethlisberger do whatever he wants. And we spoke about it earlier on this show, number one podcast in all sports, that Ben Roethlisberger, man, he's not helped doing his team any favors by talking about Le'Veon Bell and his contract, or saying that Connor should have as much of a role as Le'Veon Bell when he comes back. And it's just really ridiculous that he can just talk about these guys and talk about how Antonio Brown's the reason he threw an interception to a defensive lineman. Before that saying, who expects a defensive lineman to just jump into coverage? You should, motherfucker. You're the quarterback. You're supposed to be this Hall of Fame quarterback.
You got to read defenses. You got to throw a pump fake. You got to be a quarterback. And the thing is, this isn't like new to Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger's been, he's always usually a top 5 quarterback, but he tends to have those games where he makes awful decisions and can any given week is capable of throwing 0 touchdowns and 4 interceptions.
Oh, yeah. Or even 5 touchdowns with 3 interceptions.
Right. But clearly, excuse me. Clearly, the owner and GM have made their choice of who they want heading this team, and what did it cost them? It costed them Le'Veon Bell and now Antonio Brown.
And I'm not gonna lie, Antonio Brown looks crazier than a motherfucker, and he's been handling this kind of weird, but what he's done is revolutionize the game right now, at least off the field, because he's had his little off the field troubles, but for the most part he's been pretty much quiet, no problem other than the problems that they have with him in the organization. He hasn't gone out and done too much crazy shit. But what we do know is he has been letting us in on every single thing that has taken place as it's taken place. And he's pretty much been honest. He's been very transparent, if you will, with the proceedings and the way that the Pittsburgh Steelers are trying to handle him. Le'Veon Bell also been very transparent, been less vocal, but hey, I want to get paid. They don't want to pay me. I'm not going to come to work.
Yeah.
I think the Steelers have trouble in Steeler land, man. Trouble that could be, haunting them for the next 3 to 4 years. And that's because Ben Roethlisberger could play, if he really wants to, for another 3 to 4 years.
Sure. But if it's already your top two guys, who want out. That probably means there's a few more other guys who feel the same way, but don't have a voice in the locker room. So I'd be interested to see in preseason or during the summer, like, is there other people who start speaking up? Is there like sources say like, oh, another source says Ben Roethlisberger and the GM are doing their own thing while the other players are left in the dust.
Right. Is Juju Smith-Schuster the next dude to be like, hey, these dudes is not doing stuff right? Mm-hmm. Is Mike Tomlin going to quit? Would he quit? Do you think he would quit?
Mike Tomlin could get a job anywhere else, and he's a proven coach.
Only coach with more wins than him is Belichick. Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Active coach.
They should have said Mike Tomlin's the one calling the shots.
That should kind of be what you say.
Head coach.
Yeah, you should be trying to give like him more of a platform especially in this climate where it seems like he's getting like run amok. His team is running amok and he's being run over as far as his authority level on the team. Mm-hmm. It would seem that way. And, that just doesn't happen at other organizations. And I feel like they're crumbling in the inside out as far as with the organization. Mm-hmm. They still draft really, really well. They still know how to maximize talent out of really potentially great players. But
you know what you got to do when you get a girlfriend? You got to keep her.
Oh. Yeah.
And it seems like, like you said, they're good at acquiring.
You get a good girlfriend.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Well, not just any girlfriend.
Right. You don't want to get 5 girlfriends. You want to make this one last.
Potentially, you don't want.
Exactly, if it's the one.
You don't really want 5.
How about this? Well, how about if you get some friends, you want to keep them.
And even if you get a really good girl, man, you want to keep them. And you want to motherfucking make her yours.
How about this?
Especially if they're going to do some historical shit. Mm-hmm. You're going to be like, looking at them all the time when they're gone, like, damn.
Could have been.
There they went to the Oscars.
Yep.
There they went to the Grammys. Oh, man. There she was on sex tape.
Here I am. Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh, rapeless, bro. Fuck. Speaking of raping, Mr. Kraft. His reputation is being raped.
Exactly. I'm so glad you took this side because I'm
I got all the conspiracies here, people. Got all the conspiracies. You see, I believe this is a hip hop conspiracy. Evidence A. 21 Savage deported for ridiculous charges, or attempted to be deported, detained by ICE for ridiculous charges. Chris Brown accused of rape in France. Mm-hmm. Ridiculous charges. And now, a social justice warrior, Mr. Robert Patrick Kennedy Kraft, fucking gets a chain from Meek Mills as a gift from winning the Super Bowl that says champ. Bam.
And dons it like a pimp.
All over the country. Taking private jets with this super heavy fucking diamond crested chain.
He's got to be careful. He's an old guy.
Also, helped put a bill through that a criminal. What is this? Some kind of criminal fucking bill makes shit less terrible in prisons or something. That's a very bad way for me to paraphrase it, but Yeah, especially during Black History Month. But I believe this is targeted. Maybe he ain't been answering Trump's phone calls or something. But, oh yeah, people are trying to rake Mr. Kraft through the coals because he gets too much pussy.
No, this is what happened. This dude went to a Asian massage parlor and got a rub and tug, which has been a thing for decades, from Hawaii to California to clearly the East Coast.
Istanbul.
Sure. But these reporters throw out these trigger words called involved in a human trafficking, sting. It's like, yo, like, there are dozens of comedians who joke about this on a weekly basis. Movie executives do this. And let's be honest, if it is in fact a human trafficking thing, it is probably the least dangerous form of human trafficking.
Well,
and they asked the reporter asked those masseuses, hey, like, what's really going on? And they all said, nah, we're okay. And then they insert their own opinion and they say, but we know that not to be the case. It's like, well, of course you could just say that.
I don't know exactly. I mean, if you're going to say that, then you should have just said it and don't even quote the words. But let's go under the mindset that it is a sex trafficking ring.
That's what I want.
Taking place, and these motherfuckers are like really being held against their will in some kind of way. Are they? I feel like they're trying to insinuate on the news that Kraft somehow knew that.
Yeah, no one knows that shit.
Going into it with that mindset, it's like, he's not even being charged for anything related to it. He's being charged for solicitation of a prostitute. It's a fucking misdemeanor.
Yeah, because
it's like a $200 ticket.
And they usually don't even do that. They just said, just get out of here. They chase him out of the...
Yeah, you get a ticket. Ugh. You get a ticket. Usually, hooker goes to jail. It's a very unfair process.
It's true.
It's a very unfair process, but usually that's what happens. You usually don't go to jail. But I thought to be the most interesting detail was they said that Mr. Kraft's name might not be the most, or would not be the most famous name or biggest name to be revealed coming out of this. And I was like, well, who the fuck has got?
Oh, I know.
Who?
Donald Trump.
Oh! Boom! Trumpito. He made it onto the podcast today. That's very rare for us to talk about Donald Trump.
I mean, there's no way.
It's related. I mean, he could be getting rubbing tugs. It's in Florida.
Yeah. There's no way it's going to be a professional athlete. Professional athletes can have fucking any Instagram hoe they ever could ever want.
Right. It's got to be somebody old.
Yeah.
And more likely white.
Yeah. And a bigger name than Robert Kraft.
I mean, Robert Kraft.
Super Bowl champion winner.
Fucking Kraft macaroni and cheese and all kinds of other distributors of other food products. Like, goddamn. I don't know. I don't think you can. There's not one.
I don't know the Pope's name.
There's not one owner in the NFL history to win 6 championships under just one reign.
I don't think the random NFL fan knows any other owner's name.
Not many. Jerry Jones.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Well, then it might be him too.
And Art Rooney. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah. Jerry Jones, Art Rooney. Hey, just because you're a Democrat doesn't mean you're just getting a rubbing tug every once in a while. You know what I mean? So
everyone just calm down on the Robert Kraft thing. This dude is not going to step down and sell the fucking team.
Fuck no. You sell your team. Oh, wait, you ain't got no team? Shut the fuck up. If you don't got a team, I don't think you can have an opinion on this. Steve Ballmer, Mark Cubans. Oh, man. Steve Ballmer is not bigger than Robert Kraft.
He's too much of a dork.
He probably made more money in one short period of time than
I believe it.
Robert Kraft. But Kraft has macaroni and cheese. I don't know. Kraft macaroni and cheese. All that motherfucker needs to do to fix this whole situation, James, is come out with a whole new old school campaign of I got the blues. Put that shit back out.
I remember those
Kraft
commercials.
macaroni and cheese. I got the blues.
Oh, that little kid
shit back
singing the-
out. Man, he can put the same commercial back out. All grainy as a motherfucker. I don't give a fuck. I'll be like, hell yeah, man. Motherfucking macaroni and cheese. Kraft. I never even ate Kraft macaroni and cheese for real. Like, I don't even really like it. But you know what?
Man, I'm about to get some tonight. I'm getting
I like
hungry.
it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would eat it if somebody had it. Like, is this Kraft? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I'll fuck with that. As long as it ain't Velveeta.
The trick is to put a whole stick of butter in there.
Man, I'm glad you just gave cooking tips with Bill James and Tig. Old Jamesy boy, at Old Jamesy boy. He's got all your cooking tips. You go to his Instagram. He's out here making Vienna sausages, side sardines and crackers,
Turkey sandwiches.
American cheese plates with Swiss cheese on the side, and also he has old strawberries. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great. Check it out. Now it's time to move on to the NBA.
Kyrie Irving to Jaylen Brown to a turnover. Anthony Davis, 20 minutes a game. Trae Young for Luka Doncic. And a first rounder.
I don't even know. I always go into like a different song that doesn't exist. Bum, 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 bum. Man. I'm going to start with Trae Young, man. Trae Young fucking scored 35 points. Jack, back-to-back games.
This dude is proving people wrong.
35 plus points in back-to-back games. First to do it since Allen Iverson in his rookie year.
He's a baller.
First rookie to do it since Allen Iverson did it in his rookie year. Trae Young, real deal. Holyfield.
Real deal Holyfield.
Oh.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I wish his hair was just a little bit better. He's kind of hard to look at for me.
I mean, you know.
But he is like a young guy.
He's got nice legs.
Hey, and he can shoot the ball. And underrated passer.
Very underrated. I was going to mention that, man. Did you see that pass he had against Blake Griffin?
I
Made him
did.
look crazy. You see Blake's face after he was
Confused?
He was like, man,
This dude.
he just made a good pass on him. Man, that was a really good pass, man. Damn. He was like, damn, we going to win this game? But that was a really good pass.
He gave him his props.
You know what I'm saying? So I like Trae Young. I think people keep saying, oh man, you know, he really reminds me of Stephen Curry. Really reminds me. He's starting to remind me, if he can be more consistent with his 3-point shot right now, he's Mark Price.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He's a baby
Cleveland
Mark
Cavalier.
Price. Yes, former Cleveland Cavalier. Baby Price. I don't know, man. That's to me who Stephen Curry reminded me of very early in his career.
Sure.
Splitting the double team.
I never saw him.
Short runner. Never saw Mike Price? Yeah, come on. Never saw Mike Price. Well, maybe you did.
I wasn't alive in the 90s.
Maybe you didn't. Yeah, you weren't. Yeah, he was under a rock. Under coma, actually. But yeah, he reminds me of Mark Price. He's a great passer. Like you said, underrated passer, but he got to be more consistent with that 3-point shot. It seems to have come alive in the month of February.
Yeah, you know, these players do get better as the season progresses and as their careers progress. Obviously, he'll always be compared to Luka Doncic, but what he should be compared to is Trae Young plus whatever pick the Mavericks end up trading to the Hawks to Luka Doncic.
Yes.
Hawks are in a good position. I think they have a brighter future than the Suns, who have had higher draft picks and will probably have another high draft pick.
And I mean, even if you compare Trae Young to Luka right now, who Luka Doncic is having the best statistical season for a rookie since LeBron James, and maybe even better than LeBron James. But for me, he still has a team that he plays on, and both of their teams suck.
True.
Dallas Mavericks are not a good team. And the Atlanta Hawks are worse.
These are two bottom feeder teams.
So I can't really. I don't know. I mean, are the Mavericks a good team in the East Conference? I don't know. I got a question. I've always wanted to move Memphis into the East.
Yes. Sign me up.
Because
The Pelicans are, I think.
Pelicans should be in the East as well.
Yeah.
I think that one move creates a space for obviously two more franchises, and Seattle needs another franchise back.
Yeah, I think I meant to say I think Memphis is further east than like Detroit, who is in the East. So, but Memphis is still like
No, Detroit would be like slightly more east, but
I think it's further
Memphis-
east than a East team.
But Memphis is in the Eastern Conference, man. They should be. I mean, they're in the East. They're in the East Coast.
Just move on over.
It's like having Miami move to the fucking West Coast or something. Like just because,
Or the North Coast.
or just because there's Orlando.
Oh, right.
You know, it's like, oh well, we got two teams in one state. We're gonna split them up.
Yeah.
Like that just doesn't make sense. They're fucking bad because they're in a very geographical terrible spot as far as being in the Western Conference.
Agreed.
But like I said, I think Seattle should get their Seattle Seahawks, Supersonics back. They should get the Seattle Supersonics back. Who do you think in the West, what city should get another NBA team?
You know, I'm partial to San Diego. NorCal's good. Colorado's good. Gosh. In the West Coast?
In the West Coast.
I mean, if not Seattle. Oh, you know what?
I said Seattle.
Let's get Vancouver another one.
You want to give Vancouver fans another shot?
Yeah. I mean, that was Memphis.
It was Memphis. And it's the reason that they are in the Western Conference because they didn't want to move them out of the Western Conference. It's
Right.
a team, but even though they moved to the East Coast. So,
But I'm down to get definitely Seattle first.
that's why I just gave you one team because I say let's just say they give Seattle a team, which is in the works technically right now to give Seattle a team. But you're saying Vancouver. I like that, even though I didn't think about that. I like that. That was a good one. But I think it should go to Phoenix. To San Diego.
Okay.
I believe you're right. San Diego they're a good sports team. Sports town.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need but like 17, 18,000 seats to fill up. You don't need a big ass stadium. They could make that work. Even if they don't have one already built, some owner could make that work.
And you know what would happen? The Lakers wouldn't be the automatic go-to destination for people wanting to come to Southern California.
Yeah, because San Diego's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
I think it's a little less expensive to live in San Diego than here now.
More beachy,
More beachy.
more laid back.
Maybe more expensive to live in San Diego right now than it is in Los Angeles. But still, like you said, it's basically you're trading off for the exact same atmosphere.
Right.
And if it's a good organization, then you're going to want to go there, especially if they're winning.
It's true.
But Vancouver, I like that. But
Just to give Canada another team, it just seems so awkward to have two national anthems at these events.
No.
And I don't know.
I just would really like to get rid of
Get rid of Toronto.
Toronto.
You know,
Raptors.
let's do that. Let's do that.
Get rid of the Toronto Raptors, not moving them anywhere but like to the East Coast.
Come to like North Carolina, North Dakota or something.
Well, that's what we would do. Yeah, we would have to just get rid of them and let's just move Memphis. Let's keep New Orleans where they are.
Okay.
New Orleans is going to suck wherever they are, man. They're just going to suck.
Anthony Davis.
They
is
weren't
gone.
really that good when they were the New Orleans Jazz. They aren't really good when they were the Charlotte Jazz. The Charlotte
Hornets.
The Hornets.
Bobcats or something.
The New Orleans Hornets.
Yeah.
They weren't good when they're the New Orleans Pelicans. The Bobcats are terrible. The Charlotte Hornets are terrible. You know what? Expansion teams really don't really work out in the NBA.
They really don't.
Except for the Oklahoma City Thunder, which really was an expansion team. It was a move team. That moved and changed their name. So,
Phoenix, I believe, is an expansion. Orlando's an expansion.
Yep.
And what do they have? I think that's
brief moments of being in the in the limelight.
I think the Suns have 1 finals appearance in 20 in their whole existence, and the Magic have 2 finals appearances.
Yeah, it's really bad. I mean, the Heat and the Thunder. So the Heat would have to be the most successful expansion team.
Oh, are they expansion?
Yeah, they're an expansion team.
Good for them. D-Wade.
I think they came the same year as Orlando, but like Orlando was the last second thing that they ended up doing. They didn't really want to have Orlando as a team, but the former GM of the Pacers, I believe, who would later become the owner of the
Magic,
convinced them that, hey, we can do this.
All right.
There's a market there, which there is. But these guys got to be careful about the markets that you got to be consistently good.
And I think a lot of the times what happens is that these owners don't really care about winning. They just want another business. And if you don't prioritize winning, then you just become a laughingstock. But hey, you're still going to get your money.
Exactly. But teams like the Lakers, very much so, prioritize winning.
Maybe even a little too much. They want to win now
every year
instead of building something. This was a funny joke back in 2009. It's after after the Lakers won the championship, and we're already trying to worry about next year's championship, and the people were saying Laker fans will never be happy until they win 2 championships in 1 year. I thought it was very, very apt.
That's funny. Well, they can't win 2 championships in 1 year.
So then we got to worry about next year. We just won the championship. How are we going to get more championships?
Well, this is what happens when you're used to being... Okay, the Lakers moved to Los Angeles in the 70s, right? Late 70s. They have literally been on top of the mountaintop of basketball since.
Yeah, I think it's like 30 in the low 30s finals appearances.
Yeah, I mean, they have literally dominated as far as being a franchise, a good franchise, for years and years and years, which is why it's terrible to see them looking the way they look now. It's not like the Knicks, who were just bad for years, had a good run, won a championship, were bad for even more years, had a good run, got to some finals appearances, but still are just terrible. It's not like that, where these guys are good. These guys, and then great. And then when they're not great, they're good, and they're great to watch. None of these things are the case right now.
No.
The LeBron-led Lakers are probably one of the worst group of people. I mean, and the young guys look great.
I have no words. It's embarrassing.
But these guys that we were completely worried about them signing, the Lance Stevensons.
Who would have guessed? JaVale McGee,
Michael Beasley, who is playing in China now.
God bless him.
Why did they think that these guys were going to work out? I don't know. I think Tyson Chandler has better numbers than all of these people, and he's the oldest motherfucker on the team. He's the oldest motherfucker on the team. And like I said, the young guys are doing well. Rondo's the only guy who I think has an excuse because he kind of got sat down, but I think he got sat down. Like he got put in the
doghouse
on the bench because after he hit the game-winning shot in Boston, they put him on the bench. I think that had to do with LeBron wanting to run the offense a certain kind of way. And then it didn't work out. They lost 2 games, and they put Rondo back in, and now they're back to winning.
Well, yeah, but Rondo still can't hit a shot, and I know during the Grizzlies game, a game that they should have easily won, the Grizzlies were daring Rondo to shoot and doubling LeBron James off the pick and roll, and Rondo shot and clank. I'm not saying. I mean, but that's kind of what you get with Rondo.
Right.
That's his game.
It's his game, and I think people gotta you gotta be more. Your teammates, if that is your game, your teammates have to do more to get you open, to get you your shot, to get you to where you're comfortable taking your shot. And, you know, it's hard to do that with the space on the floor the way it is, the spacing on the floor the way it is right now with LeBron James. LeBron James doesn't move a lot without the ball, doesn't move a lot on defense. He's just clogging up all the lanes. Nobody's talking about this because he's LeBron James and he's the greatest player of all time.
Can I talk about it?
Please do.
So the Lakers don't have an offense, and it's really just the Cleveland Cavalier offense where, you know, LeBron James doesn't play defense. And so what happens is they're within, you know, striking distance at the end of these games, but they don't have an offense. And so what usually happens is LeBron James gets a rebound, dribbles it up, and the shot clock is maybe at 18 seconds. He passes to either Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, or, you know, wing player number 3, and they launch a 3. And it clanks. And the defense gets a rebound. They come down. They run an offense, and they either get fouled or they hit a shot. And the game just gets out of hand, and they try another three-pointer. It's not an offense. It's like I said, it's embarrassing.
I'm glad you brought up that the other team runs a play and either makes a basket or gets fouled or gets off a good shot that's missed. But what's missing from the Lakers in being ignored is that LeBron James, I think, is shooting, 67% from the free throw line?
Oh, yeah. He does not want that ball either when they're up to hit those free throws.
No, he does not. I think the other day against the Rockets, he was 3 of 8.
Something like
from
that.
the free throw line. It's really bad. Really, 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 really fucking bad. And I don't think that it is. I really don't think that he's healthy. You know,
I hope not. That would be a good excuse.
I mean, healthy. I don't even think it's the groin necessarily. You know what I'm saying? I think he's just like trying to not let everybody know or notice how old he really has gotten in the last 3 years. Because the defense, the lack of effort on the defensive end has been happening since he was in Cleveland the last 2 years. This year, the difference is he's got a lot of... In Cleveland, he had a whole bunch of old guys who understood, hey, you know, that's LeBron taking some plays off. They could understand. They're not going to bother LeBron with that. And also, these guys all came up with LeBron, so they all played against him and have this mutual respect. But these kids watched LeBron, grew up watching LeBron. And now they see him during these film sessions not moving. And he's standing there with his arms crossed, looking at the film. He's, yelling at them for missing rotations that they didn't actually miss. It was he who actually missed. And what do you do if you're Luke Walton? Of course, Luke Walton is going to call these things out because that's the kind of background he comes from as a coach and a player. But LeBron James ain't going to receive that too well. So, of course, LeBron James wants him fired.
Yep.
Which I think would be the biggest mistake they could make other than signing LeBron James. Because if you remember, I told you and Eric, I don't think he's coming to Los Angeles because it just would be a bad decision, basketball-wise. Like, Luke Walton, he ain't going to listen to Luke, even though they, should have a mutual respect for being drafted in the same draft class. Come on, man. Have some fucking respect for your homie.
I agree. I've come to a conclusion. I don't think that LeBron James is the greatest player of all time. What I think I was thinking was I think that he had some of the greatest playoff runs in history. Like, if you compare all the playoff runs, I think, or playoff series, that he is definitely in the high single digits. But overall, I can't get past the fact that he doesn't really have that scoring killer instinct. And I don't know if you saw the last game against the Pelicans where he hit that 3-pointer in the corner. It was
Yes.
it was one of the luckiest shots ever.
Right.
Falling out of bounds.
It's like one of his shots now, though. It's kind of his signature shot at this moment in his career as being an older player.
I think he's maybe considered one of the strongest, greatest players of all time. Maybe one of the greatest passers of the greatest of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But I concede. He is not the greatest of all time.
I agree with everything you said, except for one thing. I forgot. I didn't agree with it.
Greatest playoff runs?
Playoff runs, definitely didn't agree with that because...
I don't know. Beating a 73-win Warriors team coming down from 3-1.
Or
I think that's gotta
having
be
a
up there.
72... or winning 72 games and winning the championship. Jordan.
Yeah, but to take out a 73 win and coming down from 3-1.
Jordan never had to come down 3-1.
Yeah, but he never had to play a team like these Warriors.
Oh, man, there was this team called the Lakers that he beat up on.
Yeah, an old Lakers.
You could say old.
They were old.
Yeah, you could say old, but they really weren't old. A lot of those dudes just went on to play for like 4 or 5 years later, 6 years later. Like a lot of them dudes weren't.
Kareem
really that old.
didn't play much after
Yeah.
that. Johnson retired shortly after because of HIV.
Right,
Worthy.
not because he was not able to
Worthy.
play, but he retired because people weren't wanting to play with him.
Worthy retired shortly after.
Byron Scott did not retire.
But he wasn't one of the stars.
Byron Scott is on Showtime.
All right, at best, fourth best player on that team.
There's 12 guys out there. That's a pretty high percentage. If you're up there at the top of the fray, you're in the big four. You know what I'm saying? You just named nothing but Hall of Famers, man.
Yeah, back in the 90s, though,
Jordan-
people had 1, 2, maybe 3 stars.
Look.
Nowadays, they have 4 or 5.
Jordan scored 60 points on Celtics. In a losing effort. And they lost the series. Scored 60 points in one game. Still hadn't been done in a playoff game.
That's great.
I mean, motherfucker scored 45. No, he had 7 3-pointers in one game. Scored 45.
Great.
LeBron James has a couple of triple doubles that he figured out he could get late in his career, and he has one championship from a game-winning shot made by Kyrie Irving.
Game-saving block, too.
Game-saving block? I don't know, no, because the game-winning shot, I can't say it's a game-saving block if the game-winning shot had to come from a guy who was, there before him, and pretty much if they had a talented owner, if they had an intelligent owner, Kyrie Irving could have took the Cavaliers or take any team to the finals. You know what I'm saying? Any team in the Eastern Conference to the finals.
They were a lottery team until LeBron got there.
Because the fucking Cavaliers owner is garbage. Fucking
But then LeBron
really
came
garbage. They've
and
never
brought him
had
to 4 straight finals.
under his reign. They've never had a GM longer than 2 years. They've never renewed a GM's contract in the entire time that he's been the owner.
I'm saying, but then LeBron came.
Yeah, because LeBron comes and he dictates what's going to happen. He says, "Oh, you're going to trade for this guy, or I'm going to leave."
Brought him to 4 straight finals, though.
But that's not. That's in spite of the ineptitude of an owner. That's to push him to the side and not let him really make too many decisions. You make more decisions. What's fucking him up is not ever having the ability to allow other people to make these decisions. And he's trying to make all these decisions and make shit move.
Well, it's his age. I think he realizes this year, hey, maybe I don't have even 4 years. I got to win now. And so he's like, fuck it. Let's forget this patient thing and go back to the Cleveland way and be like, let's get Anthony Davis.
Oh, yeah, I think that, if he was kind of already doing that anyway before he got hurt, but I think the injury scared him a lot because when he hurt his groin, pulled his groin, he said, I heard something pop. You know, he said that on the court. And, you know, I'm sure it scared him. I think he was really scared and still is scared, like you said, to your point. And, you know, like I said, man, dude has won championship with Cleveland because of Kyrie Irving, in my opinion. And he lost the one the year before that, probably because Kyrie Irving got hurt his knee in game 1.
And Kevin Love broke his arm.
That was it. Well, I think maybe they could have even won that without that season without Kevin Love because they had Harrison Barnes. Kevin Durant changed all that, though. That's over. That's it. Nobody's beating them.
It's true.
Nobody's beating them. So let's talk about who else is not going to beat them. Kyrie Irving and the Celtics. They are fucking struggling, lost.
I don't think they're going to make the finals.
They tried to come back against the Portland Trailblazers at Boston and could not make a run at it. They just don't have the togetherness that they used to have. And everybody keeps talking about offense. It's the defense. They were the best defensive team in the league last year, and now they're like somewhere around the 15th, 20th. It's bad. What are your thoughts, old James?
I think so. If not to bring it back, but to compare it, the Lakers have a bunch of young guys, and I feel like when all of them are healthy, no one really knows who to go to or, you know, how do we develop our games. I think the Celtics have a bunch of talented players that when they're all out there, I don't think they really know who's the go-to. What's our flow? You know, they have Gordon Hayward, Jaylen Brown, Tatum, Irving, obviously, and Horford. And then you get Marcus Smart out there who's known to chuck, Terry Rozier out there who's known to chuck. I feel like every play is an adventure. Like every possession is an adventure. It's like, all right, let's see. I have no idea how this is going to turn out, but let's see.
Yeah.
It's no... When you're talking about the football, it's about the, you know, having an offense, having a go-to offense.
I also feel like it's their defense. Like,
well, I mean, what is that? I mean, they're not playing defense.
They're not switching like they used to, which means you're not playing for your team. You're playing for yourself.
You don't want to fight over that screen.
Or you don't want to switch back and cover the paint.
Mm-hmm. Once you get screened, you're just taken out of the play.
Yeah, or, you know, not on the screen. When you're watching your man, your teammate get beat by his man, you don't want to come back over for help. Let your man switch.
Mm-hmm.
No, you want to just stay with your man and stay out of the highlight reel. Like, you're just trying to get your points on the court. It's not me and you hanging out playing basketball. These guys are getting paid money. Mm-hmm. And they're not listening to Brad Stevenson. I mean, I'm assuming Brad Stevenson isn't going out there and going, hey, go out there and let everybody run by you and don't put up any shots that mean a good goddamn. Do that. And ISO every play. I'm sure he's not saying this, but that's what's happening. They're turning to the Philadelphia 76ers. They're turning into the fucking Lakers now.
Yep.
And I feel like everybody's turning into that, really.
Yeah, it is annoying to watch a game. But you have someone else on here who I think is not doing that.
It must be Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Because that motherfucker plays 100% every day, all time, the whole game. And he's sometimes a little bit extra after the game, after the game for the reporters if you want to get a little bit more smoke.
Yeah, but in the game, they have an offense. He is officially not the go-to guy, and they have a go-to guy, and it's Paul George.
Paul George. And I always said, we didn't have a podcast then, but I always said that KD was the problem in Oklahoma City. Anybody who knows me knows that. I used to always say that because they would always get into these arguments that people would point out on the court, and I'm a fantastic lip reader. And it would just be KD complaining about not getting past the ball, but he would just like run to the corner or run to one spot and stay still, and Westbrook would constantly be telling him, you got to move. You got to move your body, man. You can't just stand in the corner.
That ain't basketball.
And it makes it really hard if you're a point guard to get the ball to somebody who's just going to stand still. You got to cut. You got to move around. And
It's angles.
big as the guy is and as great of a shooter he is, I still think what Kevin Durant is missing from his game is he should be running around a lot more. He should be coming off of screens.
Like Rip Hamilton.
Like Reggie Miller. Like his teammate, Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
They should be running Klay Thompson off of more screens as well. Get that baby fat off of you, Klay Thompson. Let's get this thing going. Because that's, to me, the only way they're going to be able to plow through, as they have been, to the finals in the Western Conference. They're going to struggle this year if they don't have more movement off the ball, I think. Because that seems to be where everybody is struggling. Any team that's having an offense is struggling is not having no movement off the ball. And when the Thunder are struggling right now, they're not getting much movement off the ball. But man, when those guys are cutting and when everybody's screening and fucking literally just staying on doing their job, that team looks unstoppable, and they still don't have an Andre Roberson.
Yeah, Steven Adams, super underrated player, great screener.
Great pick and roller. He's gotten way better at the pick and roll, I feel.
Yeah, and he's got that teardrop runner. He's a threat.
Which has gotten better. He's added like 2-3 moves to his game this year. Did make the All-Star team, but he's not scoring a lot. Playing solid defense. He's in like the top 10 for defensive ratings. Top 10 in the rebounds. Top 10 in blocks. He's a top 10 NBA player, man. This dude is actually like, at least a center. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude is earning that check that last year people felt like he really underperformed and didn't really earn that check like they thought he would. But I mean, dude's not a number 2. He's a 3.
Yeah.
It's just a fact, and Carmelo was obviously clogging up a lot of space on the court, and they couldn't do a lot of stuff.
I don't think he was moving either.
He's not. Yeah, well, that's another thing. These guys are all old. We're talking about Carmelo, LeBron,
Durant.
Durant is not old, but he's been in the league for a long time. He's been in the league for over 10 years.
12 years.
That's a long time. Like, he's right behind LeBron as far as, like, he's about to. But I see somebody like Kevin Durant being able to play until he's 46. Because we got that dude, Vince Carter.
Crazy. Dirk Nowitzki.
Dirk Nowitzki is retiring, according to Doc Rivers.
They said today he might be down to come back. I was like, man, hang it up.
Man, yeah, come back. I'm coming back. If Luka Doncic is out there, I'm coming back. Hey, man, we might win a championship. If I have to sit right over there and just sit on the side of the bench, John Sally style, I'm coming back and getting this check. You see them M's they giving out for sitting on the bench?
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
I say Dirk Nowitzki runs like he's wearing cargo shorts and a vest with coins filled in all of his pockets.
I feel like that's literally how he's always ran down the
That's
court,
actually true.
I feel like you could tell that joke at any time period. Like, that motherfucker is a gangly mess of a creature that's running down the fucking court, just like flopping around everywhere.
Yeah, he runs like his knees can't bend, so he's just like his whole like hips.
He runs like it always looks like it hurts a lot for him. Just bang, bang, bang. He's just like smiling after he hits them 3-pointers. It's really sad though to see somebody like him who never developed any other part of his game not be able to continue to be able to be productive.
Yeah, because usually people develop their game to be like what Dirk Nowitzki started out with. A long dude with range who had to fade away.
Right. And he never developed any under the basket skills really. It was always fade away,
kick out
under the basket. If he got under the basket, it was a fade away. Yeah. It was never any real moves. That's why Michael Jordan is still the greatest of all time, because he's still the oldest player to score 40-plus points in a basketball game.
I agree.
You know, in a Wizard uniform. I believe they went to the playoffs that year, too. I don't know.
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't. They had a chance.
That team, not even LeBron could bring them to the playoffs.
No. It was bad. But he was really good. Shout out to Kwame Brown.
24 points his first Wizard year and 20 points his second year.
Yeah, and then he had really good defensive ratings. Like he was still an average player in the league. Averaged 20 points. You know, has some steals. Man, that's a decent player.
He had those pin blocks.
Yeah, because his fucking hands are huge.
Mm-hmm. Like, he was really the glove.
Oh man, he probably used to say that to Gary Payton.
You think you're the glove? Glove this.
Man, he probably used to say that when he was pissed off Gary. Man, that you know, that's great. I'm glad you said that shit. That was great. But I just feel like these players, if they develop some skills, they can play for a very long time. I think Kevin Durant could play until he's like 47 years old if he literally just continues to develop his game. Hell, add that goddamn sky hook to his game, and it's over for anybody.
Yeah, because his knees aren't taking a beating because he's skinny for his height. He's not too herky-jerky. He's not like Derrick Rose, like
impact,
jamming his knees into the ground side to side. And he really just bounces. You know, he hits his fadeaway. It doesn't take much contact.
Yeah, and he doesn't have to jump up too high to dunk. So dunks aren't really taking a lot out of him. He's 7 foot tall anyway. So
yeah, he'll probably smash these scoring records by the time it's all said and done. Unless he wants to do his production company in New York when he becomes a Knick next year.
Yes, if you Kevin Durant, I know you're listening. If you go to the Knicks, you're going to ruin your career. You're going to be known not only as the guy who went somewhere else to win, but the guy who went to the Knicks
to not win.
You'll be known as Carmelo.
Yeah.
You'll be known as Carmelo Anthony. And I don't even think Kevin Durant can take the Knicks to the playoffs. They're that bad. On purpose, it seems. But anyway, you want to give out some shout-outs?
As always, old James Boy gives his shout-outs to all our fans. We appreciate you.
I'm going to definitely give a shout-out to Bill Russell, Muhammad Ali. Well, no, I'm going to only do a lot. Bill Russell and motherfucking
Tupac.
Magic Johnson. Alive. I said alive. Tupac is dead. People, do not email me. Do not text me. Do not fucking comment. Tupac is dead. Okay? We'll have to put that in the hashtag. Tupac is dead. Okay? But yeah, shout out to Sarah. Shout out to everybody who's listening. Shout out to Max. Shout out to all you motherfuckers who made it to the end of this motherfucking thing. And Q, Marshawn Lynch.
When life gets tough, you toughen up. We gotta toughen up.